And we're back. You tuned into Sport Federation TV. I'm Lenyukta Chetty. In studio with me now from the amazing world of boxing, we have two guests. Fezeka Ntantiso, who is from the Women's Commission, and Sinithemba Blom, the lion himself, is back in studio. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so Sinithemba, how did you start with boxing for people who don't know the story?
Oh, I started boxing when I was 6 years old in Danone, Meldenton. The person who introduced me to boxing is Andile Chongolo. He was a world champion then. So at the age of 9 years old, that was actually my first time entering in the ring. Because remember that time there was no boxing ring, so we were actually using tables and chairs to make rings. So yeah, that's when I started boxing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's one of those sports that have stood the test of time. Probably one of the oldest sports in the world, if not the oldest sport in the world. Hey,
Yes, indeed.
because I read somewhere they've even traced it back to 4,000 years ago.
Yes.
People were betting on boxing back in the day. Now, Fezeka, boxing stereotypically is known as a male-dominated sport. How did you get involved with it?
I started boxing 6 years back. I've introduced by my husband, Ntantiso, who was then a coach for district. Now I started to love boxing, and the time I joined boxing, I joined the boxing as a volunteer. So I became the lover of boxing, and I started to do the district trainings as a referee and judge.
Wow.
So now I am the national referee and judge.
So
for
from the
boxing.
wife of a boxer to a national referee and judge.
Yes, as well as chairperson of Women's Commission for Western Cape. I'm also the secretary for Sanabo
Yes.
Women's Commission.
Amazing. You know, a lot of people don't know. Most of the time, the volunteers in sport, it's a thankless job sometimes, and it requires so much of time and energy, and sometimes also your own resources to fulfill those objectives. Now, being with the specifically in the Women's Commission, what is your goal? What is your goals to achieve in boxing for women?
We want to recruit more women in boxing, because why we want to recruit them is because of the protection.
Sinithemba, you have, I don't know if our viewers at home can see, but you've got colors on, and it says Commonwealth Games. Tell us, how did you get that sweater?
Yeah, I've worked hard for this sweater, and it's been like years trying and trying. So this year, actually, my dreams came true. What usually happens is that in order to get this sweat, this type of sweat, one, you actually need to be a national champion. So I've been a national champion for like 4 years in a row now. And secondly, you have to be in top 10 in Africa.
Yeah.
So by the rankings, I was number 6, and I went to Australia. So I think I'm number 5 or 4 now.
Yeah.
And they also look at your rating, your world ratings. So I was number 43 then, before the Commonwealth. So obviously now
In the world.
in the world, ma'am.
That's
in the world.
pretty
In the
impressive.
world. So
Yeah.
those are the criteria that they use to actually select you in order for yourself to be actually in the national team, or in Team Sanabo. I mean Team South Africa.
Yeah.
Per se, yes.
What was the highlight of that experience for you?
One was to actually winning my first fight. I mean, that was a milestone. Winning my first fight, my first Commonwealth fight. It was a blessing it was a blessing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's such a it's a quick reflex sport,
Indeed.
and you've got to be so focused. Hey.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, amazing. And I'm sure your team or your squad went ballistic when you won that first match.
They were so happy. They were so happy for me.
Yeah.
And they couldn't even like hide it. They were so happy.
Fezeka, are there opportunities like that for women in boxing as well?
Yes, there are. There are the opportunities like Sinithemba is explaining,
Yeah.
for women as well.
Okay. And currently, how popular do you think the sport is with women, and or is it growing in popularity?
It is growing, and as I said, we are looking more women to come and join boxing because we are looking forward to have some tournaments, and we also gonna have tournaments on the Women's Day, which is gonna be on August. Yeah, we're gonna go to Free State at Bloemfontein for Women's Commission tournament.
Amazing.
Especially for those who never been in the ring before. We are busy with that.
Yeah.
We want to take our boxers, female boxers, to that tournament.
Lovely, lovely. And speaking of development, Sinithemba, is there any projects you're involved with?
I'm actually giving back to my boxing gym, which is Ngongwezi Boxing Club. So what I'm currently doing now is recruiting the small boys, starting from cadets to youth, and also focusing on elites as well. So I'm actually grooming them to be better than myself. I don't want them to be me or to be in this position that I am now. I want them to do more than what I did now. So I'm actually recruiting them. I'm training them on a daily basis from Monday to Friday. Some even Saturday. So I'm actually giving back to my boxing gym.
Lovely. So they must be better than the lion.
Say that again.
So why are they calling you the lion these days?
They say I have a heart of a lion. I don't back down to nobody. So if I'm pushing hard on a daily basis, from my gym to a boxing ring. So that's why they are calling me a lion, because I'm working hard, very, very hard. I'm giving 110%. So that's why they are calling me the lion today.
Lovely, Sinithemba. Lovely. You know, I met you a year ago, and to see how much you've accomplished in a year. And it's not easy in the boxing world because everybody is hungry lions in the boxing world. Hey, so what can we expect from you in the future? What's in the future for the lion?
Now my main focus is Olympics on 2020 in Tokyo. So that's my main focus. I'm actually gunning for that.
You still need to qualify to be in that team?
Yes. Next year, qualifiers next year. So hopefully I'll be in that team. Not hopefully, I'm wrong, not hopefully. I'll be in that team.
Yes.
That's for sure. That's
Lovely.
given. And I'm also gunning for World Games. They're also next year. So it's one, World Games next year, 2 Olympics 2020.
It's a good plan.
Those are my goals.
those are great goals.
Those are my goals.
I wish you all the best with that. And yes, you're going to be in that.
Indeed.
And in 2020, someone's going to be interviewing you about your experience at the Olympics. Hey, and you'll say, I won my first fight at the Olympics. Fezeka, how can people get in touch with the Women's Commission, and also Senabo or Boxing in the Western Cape, if they'd like to participate in the sport or even support the sport?
First of all, if you want to be in this sport, you have to love boxing. The boxing have to be in your heart, because if the boxing is not in your heart, you won't make it in the boxing. And when you want to be a boxer, you have to be, a boxing is a skill that you are born with. Yeah, when you have that skill of boxing, you know, sometimes the skill, you enter in the sport whereby you don't have any skill. But when you enter in that sport, you became the lover, and you became being, you became being, I love this thing, and I love what I'm doing, and the skill became stronger in that, in the sport or in the boxing. And when you work hard, I'm telling you, you will be like
places.
you will
Yes.
you will be like Blom when you work hard in the sport, especially in the boxing. When you are a boxer, you know, when you are a boxer, I used to watch boxing for women's, you know, when they win, it's like a wow. It's like a wow thing.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's millions of people walking around in this world not even knowing what they are good at.
Yes.
So try it. Maybe you are great. You
Yeah.
are great
Never
in it.
know.
And I mean,
You
I can
never
testify.
know. You
I
never
can
know.
testify. I never thought in my life I would have enjoyed boxing, and I fell in love with it the minute I was exposed to it, because it made you feel so good and it makes you feel empowered as well. Hey,
Exactly.
thank you to the both of you for joining us, and you continue to be great, and you continue to accomplish great things in your community, and may your women's component of your sport grow from strength to strength.
Thank you.
Okay, after the break, we'll be back and joined by our final guests for tonight. Please stay tuned for that.